The fruit, so enticing, now sat heavy in their stomachs. What once promised knowledge and enlightenment now brought only a sense of dread and regret. The sweetness that had lured them in was gone, replaced by a weight that seemed to anchor their souls to the ground. A bitter aftertaste replaced the sweetness. It was not just the taste of the fruit that was bitter, but the realization of their disobedience. They had crossed a line, and there was no going back. The garden, once a place of joy, now felt like a prison of their own making. Shame, like a serpent itself, coiled around their hearts. The serpent's deceit had led them here, but it was their own choices that tightened the grip of shame. Every heartbeat echoed with the weight of their actions, a constant reminder of their fall from grace. No longer were they innocent. The purity that once defined them was now tainted. They could no longer look at each other without seeing the mark of their transgression. Their bond, once unbreakable, now felt fragile and strained. Knowledge, once desired, now burned like a brand. The enlightenment they sought came at a cost they hadn't anticipated. It was a fire that consumed their peace, leaving behind only the ashes of what once was. Fig leaves hastily assembled could not conceal their transgression from each other, and certainly not from God. Their attempts to cover their shame were futile, mere symbols of their newfound vulnerability. They were exposed not just to each other, but to the divine gaze that saw all. The whisper of the breeze, once a soothing melody, now carried the weight of their actions. Paradise felt tainted. The very air seemed to judge them, each rustle of the leaves a reminder of their fall. The garden, once a sanctuary, now felt like a place of judgment. Fear, a new and unwelcome companion, settled upon them. It was a fear that went beyond the physical, a deep-seated terror of what was to come. They clung to each other, seeking comfort but finding little solace in their shared guilt. The world, once brimming with vibrant life, seemed to dim. The colors that once dazzled their eyes now appeared muted, as if the very essence of Eden was fading away. The vibrancy of life was replaced by a dullness that mirrored their inner turmoil. Colors appeared less vivid, the songs of birds less joyful. The harmony of nature was disrupted, reflecting the discord within their hearts. The once cheerful chirping of birds now sounded like mournful cries, a lament for the lost innocence. A shadow had fallen over Eden, cast by their disobedience. It was a shadow that loomed large, a constant reminder of their fall. The light that once bathed the garden in warmth now seemed distant, obscured by the darkness of their actions. The rustling of leaves sounded like whispers of accusation. Every sound in the garden seemed to carry a message, a silent condemnation of their choices. The once gentle breeze now felt like a harsh judge, its whispers cutting through the silence. They were alone, truly alone, for the first time. The bond they once shared was fractured, and the presence of God felt distant. They stood in the garden, surrounded by the beauty they had tarnished, feeling the weight of their solitude. The world around them was the same, yet irrevocably changed, just like them. Evening approached, and with it, the sound of the divine footsteps. The garden, once a place of joy and harmony, now felt heavy with an unspoken tension. No longer did the sound bring joy to their hearts. Instead, it was a reminder of their transgression, a sound that now heralded judgment. They hid, hoping to escape the inevitable confrontation. The lush foliage that once provided comfort now served as their hiding place, a futile attempt to avoid the inevitable. But there was no escape. "Adam, where are you?" The question hung in the air, laden with sorrow and disappointment. God's voice, filled with sorrow, echoed through the garden. It was a voice that carried the weight of lost innocence and broken trust. Adam stepped forward, Eve trembling behind him. Their hearts pounded, knowing that the moment of reckoning had arrived. Their excuses rang hollow, the blame shifting between them like the leaves in the wind. Each word they spoke only deepened the chasm of their guilt. God's judgment, though delivered with infinite sadness, was absolute. The sorrow in his voice was a testament to the gravity of their actions. The serpent, cursed to crawl on its belly, would forever be their enemy. Its once cunning nature now a symbol of deceit and betrayal. Eve, destined for pain in childbirth, would forever bear the mark of disobedience. Her sorrow would be a constant reminder of the price of their choices. And Adam, condemned to toil and sweat, would find the ground cursed for his sake. The earth, once a source of abundance, now resisted his efforts, reflecting the broken harmony between man and creation. The expulsion was swift and absolute. In a moment, their lives were irrevocably changed. Paradise, once their home, now lay forever out of reach. The lush greenery and vibrant life that surrounded them were now just memories. The gate, guarded by a terrifying sight, served as a constant reminder of their loss. The angel with the flaming sword stood as an unyielding sentinel, a symbol of their irreversible fate. Behind them lay the Garden of Eden, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun. It was a place of eternal beauty, now lost to them forever. Before them stretched a desolate and unforgiving landscape. The contrast was stark and cruel, a harsh new reality they had to face. Gone were the sweet fruits and gentle breezes. The abundance they once took for granted was now a distant dream. Now thorns and thistles awaited them. The ground was no longer a source of nourishment, but a bed of pain and struggle. They felt the harsh reality of their new existence with every step. Each movement was a reminder of their fall from grace. The ground, once yielding soft grass beneath their feet, now scratched and tore at their skin. The earth itself seemed to reject them. The sun, once a gentle caress, now beat down upon them with a relentless fury. Its heat was unforgiving, adding to their suffering. They were exiles in the truest sense, cast out from their home and forever marked by their sin. Their faces bore the weight of their sorrow, a testament to the heavy burden they now carried. Yet in their shared glances there was a flicker of understanding. They knew that together they would have to navigate this new world, no matter how harsh it seemed. Hand in hand, they moved forward, embracing the thorns and the challenges ahead. Their journey was just beginning, and with each step, they forged a new path, one filled with both hardship and hope. At the edge of Eden stood the angels, their forms radiating power and terrible beauty. They were an unbreachable wall, their flaming swords flashing with divine fire. No longer were these the messengers of God's love and peace. They were guardians, their presence a searing reminder of the chasm that now separated Adam and Eve from their Creator. Each flicker of the celestial flames reflected in their tear-filled eyes. The air crackled with power, a silent testament to the unyielding barrier that now stood between them and their former home. The path back was forever closed. They were outsiders, banished from the presence of God and the paradise they had so carelessly forsaken. The serpent's curse echoed through their new reality. Thorns tore at their skin as they struggled to gather meager sustenance. The ground, once fertile, now yielded its bounty only through sweat and toil. Each day was a struggle for survival, a constant reminder of their disobedience. The bite of the serpent was not just a physical affliction, but a spiritual poison that infected their every endeavor. Doubt, fear, and resentment wormed their way into their hearts, threatening to extinguish the flickering flame of hope. The world outside Eden was a harsh and unforgiving place, a constant reminder of their fallen state. At night, beneath the cold, indifferent stars, they would huddle together for warmth and comfort. Memories of Eden, vivid and painful, haunted their dreams. The scent of the forbidden fruit, a bittersweet reminder of their transgression, lingered in their nostrils. The loss of paradise was a wound that refused to heal. Every sunrise brought fresh pain, every sunset a reminder of their separation from God. They longed for the symphony of nature they once knew, for the gentle touch of God's presence. But their exile was absolute, a chasm that could not be bridged. The story of Adam and Eve is not just their story, it is also our story. Their exile from Eden is a parable of the human condition, a stark reminder of the consequences of disobedience and the enduring power of sin. We are all inheritors of their legacy, born into a world tainted by sin and separation from God. Like them, we experience pain, suffering, and death. Like them, we yearn for a paradise lost, a return to a state of innocence and communion with our Creator. But even in the midst of their despair, there was hope. God, in His infinite mercy, promised a Redeemer, one who would crush the serpent's head and bridge the gulf created by sin. This promise, whispered amidst the thorns and thistles, offered a glimmer of light in the darkness of their exile. The exile from Eden, though a consequence of sin, also became a catalyst for spiritual growth. It was in their brokenness and humility that Adam and Eve began to understand the depth of God's love and the need for redemption. The story of Adam and Eve is a mirror reflecting the complexities of the human condition. We are capable of great love, yet prone to selfishness and sin. We yearn for connection with the divine, yet often find ourselves lost and alone. Their exile is a stark reminder that every choice has consequences, and our actions have the power to shape not only our own destinies, but the destinies of generations to come. Yet it is also a testament to the enduring power of hope and the possibility of redemption. The Garden of Eden, though lost to us, remains a powerful symbol of our origins and our longing for paradise. It is a reminder of the beauty and perfection of God's creation, as well as the devastating consequences of our separation from Him. The story of Adam and Eve is a call to remember who we are, where we have come from, and the choices that lie before us. It is a story that continues to resonate throughout human history, reminding us that even in the midst of exile, there is always hope for redemption, reconciliation, and a return to our true home.